So in this video, I wanted to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. It's the third movie in the Tom Holland Spider-Man series, and I wanted to talk about the ending. So in the ending, Peter Parker is given like this big decision to make. So what he wants to do is that he wants everyone to forget that he's Spider-Man, to keep his identity safe and kind of keep his personal life and his crime fighting life separate. But it turns out that in order to make everyone forget that he's Spider-Man, he needs to make so everyone forgets their connection to him or their relationship to him. So what this means is I think what this means is that Peter Parker needs he needs to somehow get MJ to fall in love with him again, even though he's now a complete stranger to her. So I want to talk about why this is a good ending. So like what it does is that it kind of resolves this issue that Peter was having, where everyone knew his secret identity, and he saw this as a real threat to like his personal life. And so so he's given the option to resolve this issue, but what ultimately happens is that it only creates a different kind of problem for him, which is the people he cares about forgetting who he is and forgetting their relationship to him. So I guess you could say this is kind of a cliffhanger, and you never really know how this issue is going to be resolved until you watch the next movie. And I feel like this is important for franchises. And so I wanted to talk about the second book in my series and how it ends. So what happens is that they kill the servant of Lord Blazer, and they incinerate Lord Blazer's body so he can't be resurrected. And this resolves like the main issue of the first two books. But in the second book, they actually realize that there's another issue that's that could be just as big as Lord Blazer being resurrected. And it's like this infection that was turning humans into like these crazy creatures with long claws and sharp teeth like zombies. And so the main issue of this second book is resolved, but they still need to deal with this zombie infection in the third book. They need to travel to this facility, and they need to destroy the facility because this facility is run by evil scientists who have sided with the aliens, and they're like mass producing the alien parasite so they can infect humans and just create chaos on Earth. So I think this unresolved conflict in the second book of the Alien Annihilators really got audiences interested in reading the third book and finding out how they fix this issue. So I also wanted to talk about someone Kenneth meets at the end of the second book. So they start their quest to the evil scientist's facility, and they come across a guy named Keith, and at the end of the second book, Kenneth announces that Keith is his brother, and so I think this also created suspense for the third book, because like now you have this new relationship to explore that you haven't really explored before. And so in the beginning of the third book, you find out that Keith and Kenneth have like this conflict between them, and it turns out that Keith is like this changed man. He was sent to the military to teach him like discipline and teach him good morals and stuff. And Kenneth doesn't really buy that he's a different person now, and he kind of wants to get revenge for something Keith did to him in the past. And basically throughout this book, Keith is like showing Kenneth that he's trustworthy. Like he's like killing all these scratchers and saving Kenneth from from like gas poisoning one time and just being a heroic guy. And so I think that by adding this new relationship at the end of the second book, this new relationship to explore, I think this created suspense for the next book and kept audiences engaged in the series. So I wanted to talk about how the fourth book of the Alien Annihilators ended, and like how this created suspense for the next book. So at the end of the fourth book, they had like some of these ingredients that they needed to cure Kenneth of like this poisoning he has that's slowly killing him. So they have like extracts from a large scorpion, and they have an extract from like this giant electric eel, and what they need now is like the heart of a dragon, and this is like the final ingredient for mixing the potion they need to cure Kenneth's poisoning. So at the end of the fourth book, they find out that this dragon that they're looking for, this species of dragon that they're looking for, has actually been extinct for like thousands of years. So I think this adds a lot of suspense for the fifth book, because like you really don't know how they're gonna resolve such a serious conflict. They need this ingredient from a dragon that doesn't even exist anymore. It's a creature that went extinct long ago, and so you know, at the end of the fourth book, it does seem kind of hopeless for them, and you kind of despair for them, but deep down you kind of know that they're gonna resolve this issue somehow, and they're gonna find the dragon, and they're gonna slay the dragon, and they're gonna make the potion, and everything's gonna be all right. And so I think this cliffhanger really contributed to adding suspense for the next book in the series. So in conclusion, I think that building suspense for the next book in the series is really important if you want to keep audiences engaged throughout the series.